Today, another lesson I'm learning from the great and powerful Javi. So yesterday we had our first snow. And that means that our little puppy had the chance to experience the white fluffy stuff for the first time. Now he was a little bit uncertain when he walked outside, but then all of a sudden he starts running and spinning and twirling and he loves it. Until he sees the snowman. Some kids had built up a snowman in the backyard, and as soon as he saw that white big figure with the big black hat and, as one does, the jalapeno for the nose, he started freaking out. He was terrified. He was barking, he was running around, but wasn't willing to get close to it at all. It scared him totally out of his mind. And as I watched him running around the backyard trying to avoid this snowman at all costs, it reminded me a little bit of how we can be with our thoughts. When there's a big, scary thought or situation, how much we might make a big fuss about it and try and avoid it. When in all honesty, sometimes just slowing down and taking a moment might actually be the most advantageous thing for us. It reminds me of The Wizard of Oz. And one of my absolute favorite scenes is one of the key scenes where Toto is Key, the little dog. Because they're standing in this great hall, and Dorothy and the Tin Man and the lion are all speaking to this booming voice of the great and powerful Wizard of Oz. And while they're speaking, Toto runs around and sees a curtain, and he starts pulling at the curtain, and behind it you see this man. And as soon as the man turns around and recognizes that he's been seen, you have the realization that this man behind the curtain is actually the voice of the Wizard of Oz. And so he actually says, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain." But often this is exactly what our thoughts do, is that they come with a booming voice. They look scary. They have a jalapeno for a nose. And they're something that we haven't come across, and so they're foreign, unfamiliar, and a bit terrifying to the part of us that wants some certainty. But here's the kicker. When we slow down a little bit, when we give some space to our minds, when we allow ourselves to feel into that fear, but then also to come to terms with it a bit, and to start asking, who is it behind the curtain? What's really behind this thought? What fear, what action, what desire is driving this thought? Because there lies the key to where we will find our answers. There is where we will find the ways to move forward through our fear. So what is your snowman? What is the great Wizard of Oz that you've got in your life right now that feels daunting and too scary to even look at or approach? How can you give yourself some space and some grace to be able to peek behind the curtain, to be able to come a little bit closer and recognize what this snowman is made out of for you? And like Javi, maybe you can even make friends with it in the end.